I've got this peach more schnapps. I didn't drink it because I don't actually drink. And I love the frosted look and I like these swirls. But obviously, this is just a fake swirl because this is just plastic on here, which is such a shame. Then I suppose you do recycle the bottle. But what a waste of plastic, hey? So what I'm going to do is, I'm not actually going to take the top off this bottle. I normally take the tops off them, but I like this silver top. So all I'm going to do is trim around that so I can get rid of that plastic. But I want it to go back to being really frosted with swirls. So I'm going to show you how to do that and how to frost a bottle really quickly. And then we're going to turn it into a nice little light to have outside when we have a barbecue and things like that. And what I'm going to be doing first is giving this bottle a good clean to be able to ensure that what I'm going to do next will work on it. And all I'm using is 99% alcohol, rubbing it over until it's nice and clean. Now, if you don't have 99% alcohol, but you've got acetate or nail varnish remover, then that'll work just as well. So I've cut a load of swirls out on vinyl with my Cricut, and what I'm going to do is put those temporarily onto the bottle. This one, I love it. I love that swirl because it actually means in a piece. So I like it. And what I'm going to do is, I have no real set pattern in mind at the moment, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to build up the pattern as I go along on here where I think. I didn't realise this bottle has got a little ridge out of the bottom, which is actually going to be quite handy, I think. I don't know why, but it probably will be. I've left it on my mat because I find it's so much easier if you leave them on the mat, not only to weed it, but to get it off. Now, I'm using the Tech Wrap vinyl, and I'm telling you, it is the best vinyl. I bought some cheap vinyl, and it won't cut. It just turns it up when it cuts, and I tried it with this, thought I'll use that cheap vinyl for this, and it doesn't weed. So it's worth getting a decent vinyl. It doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money for your vinyl either, but it's worth getting some quality vinyl. So I want one of those virtually in the middle there, like that. I'm going to make sure that every time I put one down, I've got a really good connection with the glass and there's no edges that aren't down, and you'll see why in a minute. Now what I'm going to do is build off of that. So for instance, I quite like this shape. And so maybe I'm going to put that coming off here like that. And everything I'm going to build is going to go from this center one. I'm going to put another one there. And again, make sure that that is all the way around connected. And then I'm just going to go around and keep building up on that. So I really like this one. And I'm going to have pieces come off of there as well. I think that one is going to look nice. I can always cut more if I haven't got enough. I should have enough here. Once I've got all those on, I'll show you what I'm going to do next to get it all lovely and frosted and how I'm going to finish this off and turn it into a light. Now I've got all that on there. I'm really pleased with that pattern. It looks pretty in itself, actually, but I want that to be frosted. So what I'm going to use is good old Armour Etch. I love this stuff. It works really, really well. And the other thing is, once it's finished doing its job, if you scrape it off and put it back in the pot, then it works again and again. You don't have to waste it. So I want everywhere to be frosted that isn't vinyl. So when I take the vinyl off, everything will be frosted, hopefully, on that glass. And it doesn't take long. I usually leave it for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending. Work in a well-ventilated area and always use gloves as well, I do. All I'm doing is painting down, making sure I've got a good covering on that glass. And you don't buy a big pot of this, but honestly, it lasts so long. Such great stuff. I love it. Check out some of my other videos I've made using Armour Etch as well. I'll link one at the end of this. Be sure to check that out. So one last check that I've got it everywhere, and I think I have. So now I'm just going to time that and leave that for about 5 minutes. Well, that's been on there now for 5 minutes. And what I've got here is a bowl of cold soapy water. And the reason I'm using cold is because when I rinse this off, if it isn't frosted enough, then I can always dry it and put on another layer. But if I use hot water, what'll happen is that'll bring the vinyl off. And then you've got no choice. You've got to stick with what it is. At the moment, when you're rinsing it, it doesn't actually look frosted. But it's when it dries that it'll start to look more frosted. Make sure get it off everywhere. Yeah, I can't feel any more on there anywhere. So as that dries, that'll start to look more frosty. And what I'm going to do is dab it dry as opposed to rub it again because I don't want to move that vinyl anywhere. Well, now that's dry, I'm quite happy with how frosted that is. So all I need to do now is take off my vinyl and that should come off really easy. And can you see that has now left an area that isn't frosted? Now there might be 1 or 2 little misses where I didn't cover it up properly, but I'm okay with that. So let's get rid of all this. And now that's all cleaned off, what I always always do is go over it and clean it again with some hot soapy water. And one of these scratch resistant sponges, little green sponges, just to make sure that I've got everything off everywhere. Now this is permanent on here, this engraving and this frosted effect. It's not going to wash off, so you don't have to worry, but obviously don't go too hard on it. I want it to be lovely and clean. And then we'll let that dry. Then I'll add some lights. Well, that's all done now, and it's all nice and dry, and I think that has come out really, really pretty. And you can do whatever patterns you like on there. Obviously, you could put your own names or lots of different things. With the lid, what I've done is I've screwed a little hole in the top of the lid. All I did was I used a small drill bit, and that drilled through there very, very quickly. And now what I'm going to do is fill it with some battery lights. And these are really cheap to buy. You can buy them in packs of 20, and they just give enough light. All I'm going to do is thread my little lights through there. I want to go all the way until my little plastic bit there goes through with the light, like that. Bit more in, because I want this bit here sit there on the actual light itself. So what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm going to hot glue this onto the cap. And then to turn them on, you just have to do that. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I think that's so pretty. You have these outside. You could even have them in the house if you wanted. But I like that. I think that's come out really, really pretty. Now, it's quite bright in here. I'll turn a few lights off and we'll see. I mean, it's not going to light the world up, but as you can see, it does give a really nice little light. And having a few of these scattered around when you're having a barbecue, or when you're having a nice glass of wine in your bath with bubbles, and having that sat on the side of the bath, just to give you a little bit of ambient light. Hope you've enjoyed that. Really easy, really quick and simple project. Doesn't cost hardly anything. Scrap bottle, upcycle, and a battery and some armor edge. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really helps me to get my videos out there. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, then the link for that is in the description below. And here are the names for everyone that bought me a coffee. Check out the video that's coming up next on the armor edge. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.